Hello and welcome to Tarot and the Stars for the week of March 4th. Happy March. We are in now this moment of dream time where much of the energy in the sky is in Pisces. And as you know, Pisces is the water element. And water is about our emotional realm. It's also about the unseen realm, our ability to get into an open mind of potentiality, like where anything could happen. There is this ability to access a dream where the answer to your desires and your questions and your hopes is yes. And that can be accessed through this Piscean energy where we're going into our intuition. We have the ability to connect with the higher spiritual energies. We have the ability to strengthen our pineal gland and our own personal psychic abilities, our own personal intuitive abilities. And on the flip side of that coin, what can happen with water is some illusion or confusion. So, the higher frequency of working with water is being in flow and being in trust with the unknown, knowing that your inner vision has the power to create your own reality, while at the same time, we cannot control everything. We cannot control most things, all that live outside of us. So, with the water element, the power is in the ability to flow and let things go and surrender and accept. And then there's another level of power, which is the ability to be in connection to your personal dream power, your personal imagination, the power of how, if you can imagine it and you can call it into your inner vision, your imagination, you have more access to being able to make it real in the material realm, to make it real in the real world. And at the same time, the illusion is that if you are only imagining it and only dreaming of it and not working in the material world in your real life, pulling it down from your crown into your root chakra and into the earth, into grounding and action, that one can get really lost in what the dream is. And there can be some illusion of what you can actually do. So when we're talking about Pisces, now we're in the spiritual realm, okay? And this spiritual realm is a place where we can connect with the oneness. And we can connect with all beings through this field of energy that we are all connected to. We have an eighth chakra, and in that eighth chakra, that is where the opening to connecting with all beings and all things is. It's about a foot above the crown of your head, above your seventh chakra, which opens to spirit and higher source. Okay, so we're also coming towards a new moon. The moon is waning, and this weekend on Sunday, we will have a new moon in Pisces. And for me, this is a really magical, magical new moon. One of my favorite new moons of every year, because it is the moon of the highest spiritual access, the moon where we can easily connect with our inner vision, our imagination, as I was saying before, what's going on in our third eye, and our ability to have this visualization, like an inner visualization that comes through these unseen realms towards where we are growing and going in the next chapter of our life. And it's also the new moon that comes before the new astrological year of Aries season. So March has a very interesting quality to it, which is endings and beginnings. It's the close of the astrological year. It is the culmination of all 12 signs of the zodiac wheel. And there is a rebirthing that happens in late March as we transition. This year, it's on March 19th as we transition through the vernal equinox into spring, into Aries season, into the new astrological year. So I wanted to read to you today some energy that is aligned with this time. And it's from the book, The Mastery of Love, from Don Miguel Ruiz. And this is a practical guide to the art of relationship from the view of the Toltecs. So it's the mystical wisdom of the Toltecs. And I'm going to read to you a little bit of an excerpt from the chapter called The Dream Master, because this is so aligned with the different ways of understanding the word dream and understanding Pisces, which can be an illusion of separation, which brings us into these lower vibrational frequencies of victimhood mentality, of fear, of blame, of anxiety, of being caught in the dream of fear and separation. And the other side of Pisces, which is the bigger dream and the vision of oneness and the vision of your higher frequency dream. Okay, so dream can really be seen in two ways. And I'm going to read you a little bit from the Dream Master. Okay? Your reactions are the key to having a wonderful life. If you can learn to control your reactions, then you can change your routines and you can change your life. You are responsible for the consequences of whatever you do, think, say, and feel. Perhaps it's hard for you to see what actions caused the consequence, what emotions, what thoughts, but you can see consequence because you are suffering the consequence or you are enjoying the consequence. You control your personal dream by making choices. You get to see if you like the consequences of your choices or not. If it's a consequence that you enjoy, then keep doing what you're doing. Perfect. But if you do not like what is happening in your life, if you are not enjoying your dream, then try to find out what is causing the consequences that you don't like. This is the way to transform your dream. Your life is the manifestation of your personal dream. If you can transform the program of your personal dream, you become the dream master. A dream master creates a masterpiece of life. But to master the dream is a big challenge because humans become slaves of their own dreams. The way we learn to dream is a setup. With all of the beliefs we have that nothing is possible, it is hard to escape the dream of fear. In order to awake from that dream, you need to master the dream. That is why the Toltecs created the mastery of transformation, to break free from the old dream and to create a new dream where everything is possible, including escaping from the old dream. In the mastery of transformation, the Toltecs divide people into dreamers and stalkers. The dreamers know that the dream is an illusion, and they play in that world of illusion knowing it's an illusion. And the stalkers are like a tiger or a jaguar, stalking every action and reaction. You get to stalk your own reactions. You get to work with yourself in every moment. It takes a lot of time and courage because it's easier to take things personally and react the way that you always react. And that leads you to a lot of mistakes and a lot of suffering and pain because your old reactions only generate more emotional poison and increase the drama. If you can control your reactions, you will find that soon you are going to see with your third eye, meaning to perceive things as they really are. The mind normally perceives things as they are, but because of all of the programming, all of the beliefs that we have, we make interpretations of what we perceive, of what we hear, mainly what we see. So there's a big difference between seeing the way that people see in the dream and seeing without judgment, as it is. The dream is in the way, the old dream, of your emotional body and how your emotional body reacts to what you perceive. For example, if you're walking on the street and someone who doesn't know you says, "You are so stupid," and walks away, you can perceive and react to that in many ways. You can accept that what that person said, and you can think to yourself, yes, I must be stupid. You can get mad, or you can feel humiliated, or you can simply ignore it. And the truth is that this person is dealing with his own emotional poison. And he said that to you because you were the first person to cross his path. It had nothing to do with you. There is nothing personal there. If you can see that truth the way it is, you don't react. You can say, look at that person who is suffering so much, but you don't take it personally. This is just one example, but it applies to almost everything that happens in every moment. We have a little ego that takes everything personally, that makes us overreact. And we don't see what is happening because we react right away and we make it part of the old program dream. Your reaction comes from a belief that is deep inside of you. And the way you react has been repeated thousands and thousands of times, and it has become a routine. We are all conditioned to be in a certain way, and that is the challenge, to change your normal conditionings and reactions, to change your normal routine, and to take a risk and to make different choices. I'm going to read that again. And to take a risk and to make different choices. And if the consequences is not what you want, change it again and again until you have finally got the result that you want. The Mastery of Love, Wisdom of the Toltecs, is very harmoniously aligned with the science of epigenetics, the science of consciousness, the work of Joe Dispenza and Bruce Lipton, and how we are now proving that our brains work and have been proving that our brains work, where the brain is just so ingrained in the old ways. So I wanted to read that because we are now deep in Pisces season and we have the choice to live the dream that we have believed before or the new dream that we have the ability to cultivate in the now. And this is what separates the higher vibrational Piscean energy, the oneness energy, the love energy, from the fear energy of that is also held in the Piscean in the same sign, because there's always going to be a higher frequency and a lower frequency. Okay, so I'm going to share this screen and talk a little bit about how this is showing up in the sky, starting with, let's go to, I'm going to open the March 4th. So this is the Monday chart. And then I'm going to share a little bit later in the week and all the way coming up to this new moon. Okay. So we currently have in the realm of Pisces Saturn at 10 degrees. On Monday, we have the sun at 14 degrees and we have Mercury at 19 degrees. Okay, so Sun and Saturn 4 degrees away, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I just counted on my fingers. Then we have Sun and Mercury 5 degrees away. So there is still a tight connection of these three planets in Pisces, and we might call it a very, very loose conjunction. Conjunctions when uh, two planets are within 10 degrees of each other. Normally, most astrologers would look at a smaller conjunction, 5 degrees, but just to understand this energy, we can look at this 10-degree conjunction. So Saturn is the reality bringer. Saturn wants to show us where it wants to bring us the hard truths. It's a little bit like the high school principal. If you heard last week's Tarot in the Stars, I talked about this energy that is the reality bringer. It wants to show us what may have been a blind spot in the past. It wants to show us where we can tighten things up, where we can become a little bit more practical, a little more realistic, a little more organized, that earth energy. But in Pisces, we're talking about bringing that practicality into the dream realm, bringing that realistic energy into your dream realm, and being aware of when you are caught in the old dream, the programmed dream that is 95% of how the brain works. Our brain functions 95% in the subconscious. So it takes a lot of energy and a lot of awareness to do enough connecting to that 5% of higher consciousness on a daily basis to begin to create more and more new neural pathways of growth, more and more new pathways of this newer dream where you're connecting to your higher self and your higher frequency. So Saturn into Pisces is, where do you get to bring more practical, grounded habits into your new dream? Where are you bringing in more practical, grounded habits into the energy of cultivating your connection with your higher self? Now, I'm laughing right now because hopefully it's not too loud on your side, but my dog is snoring. She's snoring so loudly. I'm just going to give you a little. I don't know if you can hear her, but my goodness. She's like at least 7 feet away from me, and all I can hear right now is her snoring. So I'm just going to pause this video. I'm going to move her little body and see if I can get her to be less loud. Okay, I'm back. So that could look like committing to a new sacred and holy routine, a routine that is sacred and holy to you. For me, that looks like taking time to do some free writing, some journaling that is simply like a stream of consciousness, and see what comes out. For me, it's also prioritizing some time to do dream work through art. For example, I love to make collages and call in the energy that I want to connect to through the pictures and the magazines that I'm cutting out or the mixed media that I'm doing. And while I'm doing it, I'm connecting to the energy of the art. That could come through for you as drawing or painting or sketching. It could be singing. It could be listening to music. It could be making music. It could be writing poetry. It could be doing patchwork, making your own clothing. It could be cooking. Truly anything that brings you into the connection of the present moment where you feel at one, with something you're doing. This is deeply important during this time and will help you adjust to the new frequencies that are about to come in at the end of March. Because when we get towards Aries season, the energy will shift. We are going towards eclipse season. We're going to have a full moon eclipse at the end of this month in Libra, and then we're going to have a new moon eclipse on April 8th. And we'll have many planets in Aries. The energy will be faster and it will be much different. So, this week, next week, like these next few weeks, use them to deepen your connection to your personal dream process that is only yours. It is unique to you. No one else has it. Your partner doesn't have it. Your mom doesn't have it. Your cat doesn't have it. It is your personal dream process, your personal connection to your heart and the desires of your heart and how you want to cultivate them in your reality. So that is what Saturn is helping us do. And Saturn's in Pisces for about 2 years. Okay, so Saturn has been here since 2023, helping us connect to our dream and see where we slip into the old programmed illusion, which is Pisces energy, the old programmed dream. So you get this opportunity to cultivate a stronger connection to your higher self during this last season of the whole zodiac year, this last month, we can call it, of the zodiac year. So if there is an art that you like to experience and something that you enjoy doing to create, now is the time. And as we get into this week, uh, later in the week, we're going to have really powerful aspects with Neptune, which is the ruler of Pisces. Neptune at 26 degrees rules our imagination, pineal gland, spiritual oneness, feeling tapped into the spiritual world, tapped into your electromagnetic field of energy. We're going to have some extra support as Mercury, the planet of your mind, gets closer and closer towards the end of the week. So this could be a week where you almost use it as the new visioning before the new moon. Before that new moon hits on Sunday, this whole week could be a spiritual expression. And you could do a practice every day this week, some sort of practice of art or practice of yoga or union. Yoga is union. And what are we talking about union with? What is union for you? Is it heart and head? Is it earth and sky? Is it feminine and masculine? Whatever it is, that is what we're conjuring right now. It's the yin yang. It's the night and day. It's this energy of what are you with your every word bringing into being? What kind of spells are you casting? A spell is a group of words that holds power. Everything that you say is a spell. Everything that we call in is a spell. And so 4 planets right now in Pisces is giving us quite a bit of magical power if we're using it in the right way. Imagination, magic, spiritual connection, manifestation, all of it happening in the unseen realms through art, through magic, through the mind, through the dream times. So it might not be the time where you're seeing the results of your manifestation in the real world, but it is the time where you are planting seeds before the seeds are planted, before the new moon. Like, we are fertilizing this soil and we are getting it ready for things to bloom come late March and April. Okay, hopefully you're hearing this loud and clear. This is the time where we can use the unseen realms for deeply empowering connection to spirit and to your higher self and to the kind of life that you are really calling in. Okay, now also important to know is that we still have Mercury going direct right now. And come April 1st, Mercury will be retrograde. So, another layer here of how to use this energy. This is forward momentum energy, but through the dream realm, through the unseen realm, through the manifesting portal. Come April, though things will be speeding up and changing completely with the eclipse that comes in on April 8th, we're going to be in Mercury retrograde energy. So there will be more internal, like filtering out and seeding. Right now, we have an open pathway to that art and to crafting the dreams that we're talking about. All right. Now, come March 9th, we have Mars in Aquarius. So, Mars is the planet of action, it's the planet of willpower, it's the masculine energy, it's also the planet of war, and the planet of, you know, the uh, violence, let's just say. When there are wars and we are talking about that sort of energy, that is the lower vibration of Mars. The higher vibration of Mars is action towards spiritual alignment or action towards spiritual evolution. Okay, so we have Mars squaring this red line, Uranus in Taurus. So Taurus, or Uranus rather, is the planet of breakthrough. It's the planet of being able to like break through a wall, break through a block. It's the planet of surprises and changes. And so, as these two planets square up this week, Mars square Uranus, come the 9th, which is Saturday, towards the end of the week. And we'll probably feel this, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, a couple days before, a couple days after. I'm getting that something in the like world, the political world, something in the external world, in the not your internal world, but on the big world stage, something could be shaken up in a really big way. And then on an internal way in your day to day life, something could be shaken up in a really big way. This could be a breakthrough where you have had some sort of block and you're finally like getting this awareness, this download, this shift in perception of where you need to change something in order to bring things more into alignment or bring things more into your favor. So this lineup, Mars square Uranus, it could be a very good thing. It could be amazing. It is also a bit like the Tower card energy, where if there's something in our lives that has been shaky or not built on a solid foundation, or there's something in our lives or on the global stage that is inauthentic, out of authenticity, out of higher frequency, it could crumble, it could change, there could be a collapse in it. And all of these kinds of shifts and collapses are in the long run to bring us towards a firmer foundation, a more authentic foundation, bring us closer to our truth. As we talk about in Kundalini, every single Kundalini class, we say Sat Nam, truth is my name, and we sing Om Namo Guru Dev Namo, calling upon bringing light, bringing truth into the darkness. Okay, so this is a week where that is very likely, where we're going to see things in a new way. We're gonna see something will open for us, and it could come in it could feel really good. It could also feel like a challenge, but whatever it is, know that it is groundbreaking energy to bring us to a place within ourselves that is more tapped into our highest version of ourselves. Because that's what Uranus is seeking. Uranus is looking for the highest version. Like, what if Uranus comes along and if something is stagnant, Uranus comes along and it shakes it up like a snow globe, or like, what might be stagnant energy Where in your life do you feel stagnant? What feels stagnant? What feels unmoving? it's it is likely, if you are opening yourself up to these energies and opening yourself up to new perceptions, that as this week goes on, that area that might feel blocked, like for example, my shower drain, I talk about this all the time, but my shower drain gets clogged. Where else am I getting clogged? Everything is connected. I want to unclog that drain so I can be open to a flow of energy. So there could be a big change coming through in these Taurus energies, which is the body, which is our relationship to our body. It's Venusian energy, our relationship to our feminine energy, relationship to money, to our finances. And then Aquarian energy is the collective. So it's very likely that this whole year, there's just so much with Pluto and Aquarius, there's so much external energy that I'm almost feeling like, where a couple years ago things were more inwardly focused, there's really an external focus. But it's really important for us to understand that as within, as above, so below, and what's happening within is also happening externally. So we also have more power than ever before to make a ripple effect into the world. Okay, so what I'm sharing is that what changes that might be coming through are here to bring us to our highest frequency, our most tapped in energy, our most aligned with our higher self space. Okay, now we have this new moon on Sunday. The new moon workshop is going to be on Monday night, but Sunday we are also having a time change. So Sunday's going to be I feel like it's going to be a little bit of a wonky day on Sunday. And you see, in Pisces, we will have Saturn, the sun, and we're going to have the moon. And this is also the day where, so we're going to have Saturn, sun, moon, and Neptune. And then right before that, Mercury is shifting into Aries. So our minds are going to be more direct as this new moon comes, even though we're still in this mystical spiritual place. So there's so much support in these Piscean energies of crafting our dream. We are definitely going to do intention setting. We might do some art on that new moon workshop, because that is just so aligned with this particular new moon, where we want to be working with our creative forces. It's less structural, it's more watery, it's more in our imagination, it's more in our subconscious. 20 degrees sun, 20 degrees moon in Pisces. So much of the planetary energy is all working with Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, and Taurus. The other side of the zodiac wheel is very, very quiet. So this is like a very rare kind of conjuring of planetary energies, where we have only pretty much everything is in these four planets: Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, and Taurus. Look at all that, like, sort of all the train is coming into one track, and it's bringing us to a place where our inner world is matching up with our outer world. And all this Piscean energy is taking us through our inner world, through the unseen realm, through the subconscious, through our ability to craft our dream from the inside out. Because once the month gets towards, March 19th, March 20th, we are shifting into Aries, and things get a little bit more outwardly facing and blossoming and blooming, and it's this new beginning. So I'm going to close it here with all this craziness. With the new moon is in a sandwich between Saturn and Neptune, both in Pisces. New moon stellium, I'm going to leave it right there. There aren't so many words that need to be said when we're talking about the mystical dream work, the intuition, your imagination, and we're talking about Pisces realm. So I'm excited to join you if you are able to join me on next Monday for a new moon manifesting workshop. And let's close with a tarot pull. Let me pull a tarot card, see what's here for us. Oh, obviously, this frickin' tarot deck. Like, could you be a little more forward? The moon card? Okay, thank you. Okay, so being open to your intuition. There's another thing coming through for me, which is about trust. I heard a quote the other day. It was actually a fact about bamboo. And I heard it, weirdly enough, my partner went to a football clinic. And in this football clinic, someone shared this information. And I might be a little off with the exact time, but there's a kind of bamboo where you plant this bamboo, and I think it's something like for 10 years, there's no growth, nothing. So you plant the bamboo seed, 10 years, you water it and you take care of it, and there's nothing. And then all of a sudden, on year 11, it shoots up 94 feet in like the span of a week. Okay. And I might be getting those numbers a little off, but the idea is there are some things that are happening under the surface, and we are cultivating them. And we don't have total control of our timeline at all, right? So there's some surrendering to the unseen forces that wants to happen so that we can continue to cultivate our best selves and our most connected in union selves. The moon card is like homage to that, honoring the tides, honoring the phases, honoring the phase that you're in now, knowing that there's something happening under the surface and you might not be able to see it with your two eyes right now. And honoring how time works and honoring how little we know as humans about how we manifest and how things come into fruition, which requires that we lean into trust on a deeper level. Trust that things are working out in your highest and best and for the highest and best of all, especially when we can't see it in our regular lives, like in the external world, but still calling in our ability to be able to see that, to be able to be open to the miracles that are happening now. And I have this quote that's staring at me that I actually used as a bookmark probably 5 years ago when I first got this book. And here's the quote. Your task is not to seek for love, but to merely seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. From Rumi. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and to find any barriers within yourself that you have built against it. Rumi. And with that, I leave you with tons of love, open-heartedness, sending you so much love and big hugs and cultivation for our biggest, most heart-centered dreams. See you soon.